Hey everybody, this is Sean with Fat Candle, and today's episode is sponsored by Fat Candle, which are candles inspired by men's cologne and women's perfume. And at the end of each episode will be a discount code. You can save 10% off your order. Thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah. I already counts as 3, 2, 1 for me.
Yes, you did. You want to do the intro? You never do the intro.
Howdy, guys. Welcome back to, that one episode that you never fully watch or finish, TorgyTalk.
Damn, dude. That's one hell of an intro, Jack. I'll take over the intro. Welcome
Sorry,
back.
Put me on the spot. I just had to come up with something.
Welcome back to TorgyTalk, guys. I'm your host, John Torgerson, along with my dickhead of a co-host, Jack Man Johnson. And today we have a returning guest, Joseph Christopher. How you doing, dude?
I'm good.
This is the first episode you've been... Well, I shouldn't say first episode. This is the episode after our Sunnyside Up show. Mm-hmm. That was pretty great. You did awesome.
Murder that, I heard.
Yeah,
I was actually dying.
He was in the parking lot throwing up.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. He didn't even drink that much. He just bitched out.
Yeah, I asked you a question, kind of right as the show was about to start. I think about just something innocuous, like, are you ordering drink or something? I was going to piggyback off of you ordering drink, and you're just like, I'm not doing good right now, man, or something to that
At least
effect.
I told you, yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right, man, I'll figure it out.
I had to go sit down. I was like, dude, it's getting hot in here, and I was just...
It was pretty warm. I'm glad I wore shorts. That's the first time I've ever done second time I've done stand-up in shorts. The first time was of Village Spirit Mike, because of how hot that back room used to get.
No AC. Ooh.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. I mean, I think it depends on how you look. I wore nice, Dockers type khaki shorts. I
never even wear
It's
shorts.
just an unwritten rule to not wear shorts on stage for a guy. But
I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff like that. I've had people tell me not to wear my glasses on stage because people can't see my eyes. I've been told many times not to wear a hat on stage, and I do. That is something I will follow. It depends on the lighting, though.
Yeah.
If the lighting is from the top and it's going to put a shadow over my eyes, then I will take my hat off. But otherwise, as long as they can see my eyes and they can kind of see the twinkle or the glint in my eyes when I say the terrible, evil stuff I say, I can get away with it. But if it looks like my eyes are going to be dark, I take my hat off. But it really doesn't matter, And I feel like that's a kind of an old way, it's these old traditions of comedy that the old timers kind of have, and they have a hard time letting them go, know?
Yeah.
We actually talking about tradition earlier, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think regardless of what medium you're in or art you're into, whatever craft you're doing, I don't think this is specific to comedy. I think you need to have a good understanding and respect of the past, of the people doing your craft in the past, but you shouldn't have some kind of dogmatic anchor tied to it, it shouldn't be a religion for you.
Right.
You should be willing to do something new, because that's what innovators in any art do. They respect and appreciate the traditions, because they wouldn't be doing what they were doing without that. But at the same time, they have to be willing to go outside the stuff.
yeah, I like wearing a hat forward, honestly, just especially when it's super bright, just because my eyes are really sensitive.
Living by that tradition, for your first special, you're going to wear leather?
Assless chaps. No, dude, I always told myself if I ever got to the level where I was if I eventually get to the headlining level, I kind of would want to switch it up and wear at least a blazer.
Okay.
Because I love the the Jerry Seinfeld look, suit and
When
coat.
did Doug Stanhope slowly transition to the clown suits? Because all the specials I watch, he's in a full bar get up. He looks like a drunk he'd be watching at the bar.
I mean, I don't know the exact time frame,
Right?
but it was when he was touring a lot more of the punk rock venues and music venues as opposed to comedy clubs.
Okay.
Because I do remember already following Doug Stanhope before the suit, I believe, or maybe I was just consuming a lot of that comedy before the suit. But I mean, I've seen him 3 times. I think
He's coming to Rosemont, not too. That's next month.
Yeah, maybe we should go see him, because I don't think I've even seen a clip.
I will say I love the specials for the lines on them, because I love the language. I'm a writer. I love that aspect of Doug. Read his books too. But Doug is definitely someone that the specials don't do justice. You need to see him live.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go see a show live here pretty soon, a good show at Zanies, a headline, a good I don't know. I think Ian Fidance was just in town, and I really wanted to see that.
Naeem Ali and the guys who do the Durag and the Deer Tag podcast. Do you know them? Okay, they were in Chicago, and the day we were at the Gauntlet. I was like, I could just go over there.
I want to say, who the fuck was just at Zanies on Friday night? Zanies Chicago. I want to say it was Ian Fidance. I think he did the 8th and the 9th.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I like him. He's really funny. But no, anyway. It's been a minute since I've seen like a touring act. I think the last one I saw was Ryan O'Flanagan.
Yeah, I mean, live comedy is where it's at.
So fun.
You know, like specials.
Have you seen it in an arena before?
Comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No, it's not.
I went to that, what was it, the Oddball Festival, I think. I saw Dave Chappelle there, like in 05 or something.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
I saw Dave Chappelle at the Union here
United
in Chicago.
Center?
Yeah, United, thank you.
And yeah, it's not like club comedy or close, intimate comedy, you know. Theaters are okay, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know, but...
Hey, I can smoke a blunt, you know, in an arena. Can't do it in a theater.
Kind of, though. There's a lot of security watching and shit. You can smoke a pen for sure.
I smoked a whole blunt. When they were doing the cameras thing, when they were just going to everyone's face, and I just saw black people with blunts going, woo! Like, fuck it, my turn.
I mean, you can just be an adult and get high enough before the event that you can go to the event and then just get high afterwards.
Eat a bunch of edibles. Eat a bunch of edibles, dude.
Exactly. Slow release.
I did do the members club thing, so I got to go in like 2 hours early and just drink to my heart's desire and eat a bunch of free appetizers. Best $50 I ever spent. $50 to get shit-faced wasted, like 8 fucking margaritas and a bunch of snacks, brought them up to my seat. It was great.
I actually just saw Tom Segura's last the special that's coming out soon. I saw that at United Center.
Okay.
I was really like skeptical going into it because I'm like, I've seen comedy in theaters and I was like, yeah, this is good, but it's like I've seen like you go to Zanies and it's just like this is what comedy's meant for. It's just not the same. But he did murder. I was laughing the entire time. And then Chris DiStefano came out and did a random guest spot for him. It was
after Tom?
No, during before it. Sorry. He came out right before him, and because like I think they might have posted right before the show on Instagram. Oh, there's a special guest, and I'm like, oh, I wonder who it could be. And I'm a huge Chris DiStefano fan. I like him. He's hilarious, especially his History Hyenas podcast.
I was gonna say it was Joe DeRosa.
No.
Oh, is it?
No,
not
it's
Jerome.
Giannis Papas.
Giannis, thank you.
Yeah.
I always get those two confused.
Yeah, I haven't listened to any of his podcasts, but I do like...
I just listen to Hey Babe a lot.
I like his appearance on the podcast that I listen to. I do think he's a funny, charming dude, likable dude.
Yeah.
You know, I believe he's probably a good dude.
I used to listen to Hey Babe all the time. It was him and Sal Vulcano. That one was hilarious. I just haven't... they stopped doing it for a little bit of time, but... I don't know. Jack told me some interesting news today about our podcast, though.
Oh, you know Karen Feehan, right?
Yeah.
She liked one of our random posts.
reels,
And I was like the most random one. I was like, I wonder if she did that on accident or not.
So that's two big names we've had. So we've had her and then Kevin Nealon liked one of ours too.
That's
I've seen her bubble.
Yeah. She's in town.
She posted online for free.
She's in town for Windy City Comedy Fest.
That's what I was telling him.
Yeah.
And so she's probably just checking out the local scene or whatever. Maybe someone mentioned you. That'd be cool.
It was with
Femi.
It was a Femi reel, so Femi very likely could have met him since he's met her since he's yeah. But no, it was so I finally went back out last Thursday. I took after my little hiatus from comedy, and I had a blast. I missed it so much. I'm so glad that I went out, and then I went out Friday night for the Gauntlet, stayed for second chances after, and I was like, God, I'm gonna start going at least once a week again because I have so many friends in comedy. It's like more of my friends are comedians than like I have like 4 friends outside of comedy, and that's it. But like, it was really cool to see a bunch of my new shit like that I had never even tried worked. I rewrote that vasectomy joke that I told at Sunnyside Up, and it ended up working really well. I'm like, God, dude, it's so cool when a new joke hits. So yeah, no, it was just
yeah, no, I get it. I need to do that. I need to go to comedy mics more, I think, and work on some newer stuff because especially during the summer, I go to mostly music open mics and do the act, just to keep the act sharp. I
might do that with you here pretty soon because I'm definitely gonna do it before the Final Girl show. So I'm doing what, 10 you said? Yeah. I mean, it's a chill show. I don't remember exactly, but we can figure it out. The most I've done 15 minutes once, and that was like it was for the show that Jack is doing this weekend at
the PML.
At the PML Theater for Charles Burns. Our headliner was running late, and I was hosting, and Charles was like, "Can you do 15?" I'm like, "I have 15 minutes of material. It's not gonna. I mean, my first 10 minutes will be perfect, but." And I ended up like giving myself like 5 minutes before the show and just like figured out the jokes I was gonna tell and pieced them together as best I could, and it turned out really well.
And you ended with that rather than try and find a place to put it in the middle.
I put a couple of them in the middle, but I ended with my old closer.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it was
The tried and true.
You want to end strong. It's the last thing we're going to think about you. The last thing they'll remember. You know.
And then I had to do 5 more minutes because the headliner got there he got there late, and then he had
to prepare his notes too.
Yeah, I was hosting, so I was like,
you had to do time in between the feature and the.
Well, I didn't do much time between. Between the feature and him, I because he got there, I'm like, hey man, do you want to go right up, or do you want to give you a couple minutes? Say, can you give me 5? I'm like, yep, I'm doing all my material. And no, it ended up doing good, really good. It was Mother's Day weekend, so there wasn't that big of a crowd. I think there was 12 people in that 70 seat theater, but they were a great 12 audience members. Like they were all laughing very hard.
I mean, especially when there's a cover and stuff, the people that are coming out, they're there for comedy.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big thing. But yeah, like especially at Windsor, the holiday shows are usually my better turnouts. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Thanksgiving weekend, New Year's Eve. Those are all the places pretty much packed.
Yeah, that Father's Day show was really fun. I was supposed to. The only other show that I've gotten booked for it was a New Year's Eve show. It was supposed to be for Amy at the Village, our first year in.
Yeah, like our first show ever.
I got called into work.
Yeah, I think I did that show.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on it, but I got called in.
It's fun to smash anytime, but I would left a family party where everyone's having fun drinking, making tamales, left to go do a set at the Village, and then rush back to try and get back.
Yeah.
Before, I believe that's what went down. Yeah. It was a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. It was our first year in, so that's 2022.
I remember that pretty well too.
2023.
I tried doing the same thing too. I was supposed to hook up with someone. She's like, all right, I'm on the way over. I was like, I got to go home, boys. And I went home and she just ghosted me.
I hope I'm not misremembering. I hope I didn't turn the show down because that's the narrative I thought would happen in my head. I believe all that really happened. I'd have to check my calendar.
Oh man! So so since you've been on last, you've had 2 zany spots now, right? On Super 6. How'd those go?
I mean, I'm especially at a place like Zanies. I'm pretty self-critical. I mean, they had me back after the first one, you know, and
I remember you telling me that you weren't happy with the first one.
But when I compared myself to the rest of the lineup, I was like, oh, all right, I do belong here, you know. But I wasn't happy with my set, so I don't want to be disparaging anything or anyone, but that's the reality of what happened to me. I wasn't super happy with my set because I wasn't holding them in the palm of my hand, you know. Right. I didn't absolutely crush. I got some jokes got some pitter patters from different groups, and then I have, you know, some few tent poles that hold the act up. That are pretty tried and true. I'll get a whole crowd with them, you know. But the big thing was that first one, I think I only got 8 minutes or something because it was my audition and there was 5 people auditioning, you know.
Okay. Where'd you go in the lineup?
After Jeremy Piven. That's a whole, I'll tell that story too. That's a funny one, but I'm trying to finish my thought.
Yeah, like the Jeremy Piven, like Ari Gold.
You want to hear the story?
No way. Like
this is what I was saying. I'll get into it.
You don't? Have you ever seen Entourage?
You can Google it right now. Or
Ari
The Goods.
Gold.
The Goods is a fucking good movie.
He's the agent in Entourage.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Jeremy Piven. I was trying to think of
the big thing
Chicago comics. I was like, wait, what?
I don't think I found out how much time I was doing till I got there, and it was only 8 minutes. And my minimum lately has been getting 15s, you know. I've been doing 25s lately, you know. And so I was like, fuck, what do I shove in 8 minutes? You know, I had to take a scalpel to the act, figure out going to be the biggest laughs in 8 minutes, but then also make it a cohesive narrative, a cohesive set, so that it flows well, you know?
Right.
And
Get all
so,
the callbacks in.
yeah, and so, I mean, I'm doing that essentially. I was a little prepared. I had like ideas for 15, ideas for 12, ideas for 10. I didn't really have ideas for 8, but I was already doing the surgery, you know? And so I find out day of it's 8 minutes, and then I'm like, oh fuck, you know, like I'm cutting some of my biggest jokes, you know, and at the same time, I'm already, it's to the point where I'm being indecisive about what joke. Like, do I do my Cosby joke? Do I do my gender fluid joke? How do you choose between one of those two? They're both fucking great, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going through, like sitting in the audience before the show starts and stuff. And or actually, when I get there, I go up into the green room and I look at the green room. And I look at the list of comics, and I see after it's a shotgun mic too,
right?
Or not mic, but it's a shotgun where we all have to bring up the comics after.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he really wants to see out of these people auditioning who can. And I mean, he really gave it to me.
Kind of host too.
So I get into the green room and I look at the list of comics, and after my name, because that's the name I'm having to memorize to remember. You know, and I'm like, Jeremy Piven? And I'm like, okay.
Like, wait
so then all the other
Okay.
comics start showing up, and we all introduce ourselves to each other, and no Jeremy Piven shows up to the green room before the show. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I think that is Jeremy Piven, you know? So I go down and I go to talk to Brian, and I'm like, hey, like he's getting the comics together and looking at the list or the lineup for the night. And I'm like, is that Jeremy Piven, the actor? And he's like, yeah. I don't even know if he's going to be here.
We just booked him on Facebook.
So I'm like, okay. And the only thing I ask him is, I'm like, do you think he would want up to be brought up with the credits and like everything, and like really make a thing about it? Or do you think he would like just to be brought up, hey, your next comic, Jeremy, you know, like, not deadpan like that, but I mean, like, no fanfare, you know? And he's like, I don't know, you know, just
do what you think's best.
Make your own judgment. And I'm like, all right, you know. And so
bring him up as Ari Gold.
Yeah. So I mean, the show's getting ready to start, and that's what I'm going over. Like, am I gonna do the fanfare? Am I not? I make that decision quick. I'm like, no. He's dropping in on a local showcase where everyone's basically only doing 8 minutes. He's only doing 8 minutes, you know. And I think he might have got 10, you know, but 8 to 10. He might have got 8, but was able to go to 10 without, you know.
Right.
But so that's what I'm going over that, and still, what jokes am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm also like looking at the list. Oh, the comic after me, I think it was Sam Rossi. And so I'm like, Jeremy Piven, Sam Rossi, what jokes am I going to do? What jokes am I going to do? Jeremy Piven, Sam Rossi, what jokes am I going to do? What jokes am I going to do? And then like the show's starting, and he comes up to me. He's like, all right, Jeremy Piven is on his way, but he's getting traffic and he doesn't know the comics talking, or the host is on, or the first comic. And he's like, Jeremy Piven is on his way, but it's not guaranteed where he's going to be on the lineup. So just be ready either way. You're either bringing up Jeremy Piven or Sam Rossi. And I'm like, okay, all right. Still with, like, this is my first time at Zanies, man. You know, like,
it's a lot of pressure for your first time, other than focusing on your act alone.
Correct. So then it gets to the comic before me is up now. Like, it's getting to the 0 hour, or whatever you want to call it. And he comes up to me, he's like, okay, Jeremy Piven's very close, but he's still in traffic. He's like, so I'm going to flash the light twice if Jeremy Piven's here, and that means you're bringing up Jeremy Piven.
Jesus Christ.
Or I'm going to leave the light on if you're bringing up Sam Rossi. And I'm like, okay, flashing light, Jeremy Piven, solid light, Sam Rossi. What jokes am I going to do? You know, like,
God, solid
like,
Sam Rossi.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Now the comic is like about to do his closer, like already said, all right, I'm going to leave you with this and shit, you know? And Brian comes back up to me and he's like, hey man, I don't know why I made that overly complicated. I'm gonna if Jeremy Piven's here, the light's on. If Jeremy Piven's not here, no light. I'm like, okay, yeah, that is much easier. You know? And then, like,
if you see me in the back of the room and I blink twice, he's here.
Do you know Morse code?
And then
you better learn quick, cause
so then the comics literally saying my name, giving introductions, bringing me up. And then Brian comes up to me. He's like, Jeremy Piven's here. You're bringing up Jeremy Piven. And I'm like,
So no light?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
So, and the light's like over here on the side. That's the kind of bummer thing, you know? So
it's red too, right?
Huh?
It's
Yeah. So I do my set, and like I have, especially comparing myself to the other sets before me, I have a good, solid, competent set.
Yeah.
The crowd likes me, you know. But I'm already in my head about, man, I wanted to murder. I wanted to make it be undeniable. Brian's in the room, you know, exactly. So I do my set. I close with my closer, which is a very crowd-pleasing closer. Everyone loves me after it, you know. And I opted for no fanfare, but I still was energetic and like a good host, pumped up the crowd and brought up Jeremy Piven. I just didn't list credits, you know. They were loud and they just had a good closer. They were good energy that I brought up Jeremy Piven into, you know. And then he gives me a fist bump or whatever, and I'm going off stage, and he comes up, and the first shit he says is, "How about that really like enthusiastic intro, everybody?" Huh? You know, like starts ragging the intro right away, and I'm like, if that dude had any idea the shit I went through about whether or not he was going to be here at my Zanies debut.
Yeah. Oh man. So, fuck, man. I totally forgot that he was just there recently. I just didn't know it was on your night.
No, he's a Chicago guy. He's there all the time.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I believe he's popping around all over the place trying to build.
How was his act? Is he great?
Be honest.
Shit, man, you put me on the spot. I mean, it was competent. He was good. He's got jokes. I think he's going to be getting bookings. I don't know what
Oh man, no,
pretty nice.
I've seen because I follow him on Instagram. I saw he was doing comedy at some club, and he's like, yeah, obviously you guys have seen me in Entourage, blah blah blah. He's like, obviously you can see my career's doing good because I'm doing comedy next to a bowling alley.
Yeah. He did something similar to kind of using me, but that's the thing, like someone who's been at it a long time and understands crowd psychology or whatever, for lack of a better word, would know if the crowd liked me and that got that loud at the end, you don't trash the comic before you if the crowd likes them.
Right.
Because then the crowd's going to be like, well, what the fuck have you done yet?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened, kind of. He didn't get a big response over that, what kind of intro is that shit, you know? And then he dug himself a little hole, and he had to dig himself back out of it. But he did, he ended well.
No, I like Jeremy Piven and Entourage. I've never seen him, and he's also
watch The Goods, man.
Goods?
It's a movie about used car salesmen. It's fucking
I've seen clips of that. I've seen clips of it on Instagram. But
is that on Hulu?
Is that where he's smoking on the plane?
I don't know where it is. You'd have to look at.
Is that where he's trying to smoke on a plane? Right, in one part of it.
I'm not sure. I don't remember travel.
Yeah. Because he has a salesman, and the clip, the caption said that. This guy can sell anything, and then it's people in the comments were saying that he movie
gets
was
him to let him have a cigarette on the plane.
He gives like a fucking legit like 2-minute speech about how we used to be able to smoke cigarettes on planes, and this country used to be great, and all this shit. And he's like, yeah, I gotta watch that. It's on Netflix.
Yes, I always think that Craig Robinson scene where it's just like, "Hey, you play that one song?" It's like, "Yeah." No one tells me what to do.
Oh man, so that was your first one, right?
Yeah. And like I said, ended strong, good energy and everything, and it was competent. When I look at the set and compare it to it wasn't utter destruction like I was expecting.
Right.
But they had me back like less than a month later.
That's cool. That's cool.
And so in the second one went very well. I actually asked for the video of the second one. I didn't even ask for the video of the first one. Nah. And I think the Cosby joke probably hit harder on that first one. I should have asked for it. And I would have had a clip or something to put on social media. Because it's like now I look at that's the other problem. I look at my set and I had to make it so like fucking bulletproof that like a lot of his jokes I don't want to put out online.
Yeah.
And I didn't I think the second time I had 12 minutes. Even in 12 minutes, I didn't do crowd work or anything.
Yeah, you don't want to burn anything.
Yeah. So I look at the clip and it's like, I could maybe burn this one little joke, but do I want to put an aside as a clip up up online, you know. So
Right,
I just need to get there more. You know?
Yeah. So I need your opinion on something. So I remember you were saying, I think it was you that was telling me that when Brian Hicks when a lot of like club owners are looking at a clip, if you cuss in is it the first like 10 seconds or is it the first minute?
I mean, I don't know. And I think that varies depending on the person looking at it. Some of them are looking for cleaner stuff because they basically, a cleaner person can be put in more situations. You can even put a clean comic in a dirty room or whatever, at a late night dirty room, and if they're good, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. You know, whereas a person that leans on the shock value of a lot of their stuff and the saying the wrong things to get the giggles or whatever, that person isn't going to be as strong in a room where you can't have that tool, because that's kind of like a tool or a trick.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So the reason I ask that is because so right now I'm just like struggling to. I've been like taking a break from submitting to shows because all I had was a 3-minute open mic clip. And I haven't sent it out since I told you that whole situation where I got that weird feedback. So I haven't been sending that clip out. I was also planning on taking a break anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm not going to submit till I have a better clip. Now, my opening joke, you've heard my opening joke, it starts off by me saying, I'm not gay, but I got my back blown out last summer. Would you consider that dirty?
It's not blue too much.
I mean, people have varying degrees of what blue is and what clean is, you know? Like, I'll tell you, I remember one time, like, I'll get obstinate sometimes going to music mics, and they'll be like, we've had comics here before. It never works, you know? And I remember this one time I was at that place in Fox Lake that's now a dispensary, the Smokehouse or whatever. They had cool mic on the top in the summer. It was beautiful on the lake and stuff. And the guy's like, he's like, I'm going to let you go up. But he says all this stuff to me, and I'm like, it's not a big deal. I could finish my drink and go home. I don't want to like ruin your night, man. You know, he's like, no, it's an open mic. I'm going to let you go up. I'm like, okay. 5 minutes later, he comes back to me. He's like, the owner just heard there was going to be a comic. He told me I have to have my finger on the button ready to cut you off. And I'm like, I watched the stairs. No one came up here. No one talked to him. He created this whole thing in his own mind, you know? And I just said again, I was like, I could just finish my drink and go home. And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm going to let you, but I want you to know I'm going to cut you off. You say anything vulgar. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I do, you know, some jokes. I do like 10 or 15 minutes. And I just don't curse. But I mean, I do my Cosby joke. I talk about drugs. I talk about having sex, you know. Instead of fucking, I say making love, you know.
Right.
And
so it's mainly just the curse words.
But it's not anything I would like want my nieces to hear. You know, like. And so I get off the stage and get down, and he's like, wow, that was really good. Thank you so much for being clean, man. And I was like, okay, all right. So like I said, it's varying degrees. I will tell you this, but again, this is just me. Like, let's say someone sent me a clip and I'm looking at my show. It better be or thinking about booking them on my show. It better be a really strong fucking joke if you're going that blue that early on. It can't be just the type of joke that you would make with your friends hanging out or something. It has to be a joke that I'm jealous of that I couldn't write. Right. And then I understand why you're opening up with that. Otherwise, I mean, it's majority of the time you're talking to complete strangers.
Right.
You don't want to go up and say to someone, "Hey, I got my back." You want to get your back blown out? You know, like, you ease into that sort of shit.
So
you know?
I've opened with it two different ways. I've started with, I'm not gay, but I got my back blown out last summer, or I just literally just start off with, so I got my back blown out last summer, and I'm like, I got hit by a car at work, and both of them. I get better reactions by saying when I say I'm not gay, everybody's like, oh, bullshit. I'm like the first 5 words in there. So it's gotten really good reactions. So that's why I've stuck with that opening. But also at the same time, it's like if I were to open with that, when I did the Red Room, I just opened with, I got my back blown out last summer because that's.
And that's also 2 different settings, right?
Right. That's exactly what.
One was a bar, one was a comedy club.
Yeah.
You know, the comedy club setting, they're expecting something like that more. I think it'd be more appropriate to open with something like that at a comedy setting. But let's say your average bar show or restaurant show or whatever, I myself wouldn't open with something like that because you could immediately turn off a section of a crowd, a whole table. Yeah. What if you turn off a whole 10 top? Yeah. And you only have 25, 30 people in the crowd.
That's true.
You know, and then you got half of the room is now like this for all the rest of your set.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out if I need to move that back in my set, not open with it, or just tweak the opening a little bit, because it's a great. I really like that story. I mean, I've turned that into a pretty solid opener. Like, I get a lot of laughs during it just because it's a funny story.
I'm just picturing a guy telling pedophile jokes at a Subway.
What?
I don't know.
But
I'm trying to get a word in. I'm just like listening.
But again, that's just me telling you my ideas and what I think about comedy. You know, like the audience is going to tell you whether that's good enough or not. You know, that's your instrument. That's your horn. You know, they're letting you know what's going to work or not, you know? And that's why, like I was saying earlier on the previous podcast, there's a balance between being an entertainer and being an artist. But the thing is, when your instrument is the audience, you know, like what made me think of this was you said that you left a moment for them to have a reaction. Yeah. And so that's telling you now, like, you either need to already have them enthralled and eating out of the palm of your hand, you know, like sitting on the edge of your seat for every word that you have, for you to get away with a pause like that or something like that. You know, like a lot of people, especially earlier comics, don't realize the rhetorical question is one of the worst thing an early comic can like do. And they always start out with that, like, to get into a subject, like especially at open mics or whatever, when they don't have a good act. And they need to go from one joke to another. They'll be like, "So, you anyone else single?" You know, and it's like you're giving the audience the moment to take over and derail from you. You need to be in control of everything, you know. And so, yeah, rhetorical questions, spaces, pauses. You need to be experienced enough to use them properly.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start with all my dad material, and then put that joke. I think that joke would work as a closer too. But then the only thing that would deter me from doing that is the fact that that Food Network doggy style joke, that's my closer. Mm-hmm. And that one always does really, really well. That's always a good way to go out, me bending over a fucking stool. And it's just like, I just don't, maybe I put, you know what I mean? But also I have a bunch of sex jokes before that feed into that one. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know. I just got to do some surgery on the set.
Yeah, all my sex stuff is all at the end.
Right? Know? Yeah, like it's a good spot to end it on.
I get them to trust me. Like, we're having fun. I got jokes. The point is to make you guys laugh, not disgust you, not shock you, not convince you of anything. We're having a good time. We're making you laugh, and you gain that trust from them, and then you can get away with a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to move it. I don't think I'm going to open it. I think I'm going to open with the lighthearted dad stuff, because all the dad stuff I have is likable. I don't think I've ever had any bad reactions from all my dad material at shows. Mm-hmm. Not saying they've all killed, but they've all put smiles on faces.
Yeah, no, lately I feel like my opener, if the first line doesn't absolutely like crush, it's a little soft of an opening then. Yeah. But I get them eventually, you know, like I get them less than 2 minutes in, I'll have them. But if the opening line, because it's a weird one, you know, and I'd rather not give it away here, but I think you both know what line I'm talking about, you know, that's been my opener lately, is basically to disjar the audience so that they don't know what the fuck's going to happen. It also completely resets any energy for whoever went up before me or anything, you know. And then I feel like it also kind of removes any expectations for any joke structure or anything, because I have a varied joke structure, you know. And so, I guess what I ultimately was saying, I already said, is sometimes if that first line doesn't get them, you know, and I hear it when I listen to the tapes or watch them or whatever, I can hear it and see when it works. The rest of the stuff talking about me being older is just hitting even harder, you know? Yeah. But then that's, you know, it's like 4 punchlines in not even 90 seconds. And then I get to the trans fast joke, which is one of the tried and true.
That's a good one. Know? My clip situation, dude. I have so many good clips that weren't ever recorded. And then I have my best clip that I do have recorded was at Billy's show at the Blue Goose. And that was the first time Jack and I were trying to use that camera with the lapel mics.
The lapel mics just weren't cutting it for.
So it's all, the audio's super clear, but I think the noise gate was too high on the crowd mic. So it wasn't picking up. It picked up the laughter, but it does not. It does not do it justice.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it justice.
Well, you need to get that dialed in.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was the first one. I mean, we should be doing it at open mics. We shouldn't be doing it at showcases. But
Just so you get it dialed in.
yeah, exactly. So honestly, I'm gonna have Devin. You know, remember Devin D. Webby?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
he's a good audio engineer. So I'm actually supposed to go over to his house soon and see if he can kind of tweak the audio a little bit to make the laughs like brighten up or something. I don't know if there's much he can do because it all got recorded on one single track. It's not isolated, so he can only like if it was isolated and it was like on an actual track and I like recorded it on like an interface or something, he'd be able to fuck with either track. But we're gonna see what happens with that. But I'm really just at this point kind of waiting for my I have my Lincoln Lodge debut on
What show?
Late night at the Lodge.
Oh, nice.
Victoria Flynn and Tina
Yukana.
Yukana's show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So I submitted to that for the first time I saw the first time I met Victoria I was doing Addison O'Neill's show at My Buddies, and I might have told you some Hector J. He was also one of the other guest spots, and his sister came and she fainted during my set. Like
Jesus.
literally,
Where was this?
At My Buddies.
Oh, okay.
So literally, I'm in the middle of my set, and I was in my opener. I was still opening with my my pocket pussy in the strip club story, and as soon as I said, "You guys remember the OG Four Locos?" and they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, two of those," and it's over. And I hear thump. I'm like, I look over. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Is she okay?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "Oh my god, somebody call 911!" Like literally, like.
See, I'm terrible.
It was
I
bad.
would have thrown a joke in.
No, because it was
Dude,
bad.
she
'cause
must have had 5 locos or something. I would have immediately said something and then felt terrible.
It was fucked up because there was like somebody's like, "There's blood everywhere," and that's when that's what I was like. That's where I was like to call 911.
Yeah.
So Victoria Flynn was actually in the crowd because her mom had actually won like a buddy's buddy's raffle for 20 free tickets to an event, and she picked that one. So Victoria Flynn was in the crowd, and it was about 20 minutes later, the ambulance showed up. They were like, do you want to, like, apparently she has constant seizures. And like, she's like, no, I'm good. I want to stay. So the show goes on and Addison's like, all right, dude, you got 5 minutes. I'm like, all right. And I opened back up with, I'm like, man, I was told I was bad at comedy, but my God, holy shit. And then the whole crowd started laughing. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to move on from that story because obviously it put her to fucking sleep. And I ended up crushing the rest of my set. And then Victoria came up to me after the show and was like, you did fucking awesome. Please come to my mic on Wednesday nights, Out by 10.
What mic?
Out by 10.
Okay.
It's at the Pony Inn. No, not the Pony Inn. It's at Timothy O'Doul's.
Yeah, I think it's O'Doul's,
Yeah, something like that. Really cool mic.
It's at the same place where Comedians You Should Know is at.
I don't think it
I'm
has
not
a
sure.
showcase in the back, does it?
All right.
I don't think so, no. But it might be because in that front there's like 2 rooms. There's like a room that's like split down the middle with a door, and then there's like a bar on each side. There might be. I'm not sure. Anyway, I went to there and she's like, go ahead and submit to my show. I run Late Night at the Lodge. It was brand new at the time. So she's like, if you submit to it, it's a really long list. She's like, it's gonna be a while before I get to you. And then she messaged me like 2 weeks ago. She's like, hey, do you want to do a guest spot on Late Night? I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. I like honestly totally forgot. I'm like, thank you so much for thinking of me. She's like, I told you I'd get to you. I'm like, you did. So from what I've heard, Lincoln Lodge records sets.
It depends on the show.
So I'm going to either record it on my phone just to have a set or have a good clip from it, regardless if it's on a phone or not. Or maybe by then we can get this dialed in. So at least it'll be a nice 4K clip. I mean, I know I can just use that camera with the mic. That's how I recorded the Sunnyside. I recorded the entire Sunnyside show.
Yeah,
I just haven't looked at it yet. And I know I did okay during that. Not like crazy.
You got my set on there?
Yeah.
I would like to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I'll go through it eventually. You just gotta potentially remind me. But yeah, no, the mic on that camera is actually pretty decent. It just sounds basically like a phone.
Yeah.
But I mean, still good quality camera though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really hoping that, I'm doing 5 minutes. So it's like anytime I have a 5 minute set, I almost get not relieved, but like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like no pressure.
Yeah.
Almost no pressure, because it's like, you don't have to worry. For me, I have trouble remembering the order of my jokes sometimes. Like not on my 10-minute set now, but like when I first started doing my 10-minute set, it was just like, all right, this goes after this goes after that, and I just got kind of confused.
That's if you're not getting enough bookings to like know your act well, that's where the music mics come in. I told you one of the first times we met, I told you that,
Yeah.
I wasn't getting booked a lot, and I had enough stuff to put together like 15 minutes, but like I could tell that when I would get a booking, my set would be better if it didn't sound like an open mic set, if it sounded like an actual act, someone that knew what they were doing and they worked on their act. And so I just started going around to music open mics, but I don't work out new jokes there,
Yeah.
That's why I started getting a lot of abstinence in the beginning, is because comedians would go there and work out their new fucking dick jokes or shocking material or trans jokes or whatever the shit that they're doing, the edgelord stuff that they're doing to try and get laughs, because those are actually easier laughs, and then they turn people off from comedy that are just there. They're in their 50s and they're playing their acoustic guitars to impress their girlfriend so they can get laid that night.
Yeah, I came here to listen to a cover of Beach Boys. I didn't want to.
Yeah, so I go to comedy open mics to work out new shit that like I want to be in a safe space, for lack of a better word, where comics understand that this is half-baked shit and I'm working it out, But I go to music open mics to like polish on the act and to make it tight,
Yeah.
And there's not many comics that each one of these mics will have like one comic that comes there sometimes, and they are usually someone that's taking it pretty seriously because they're allowed to be coming back.
Right.
But there's not many comics I see in the music open mic circuit. There's only really two that I've run into on more than one occasion, and it's Chris Schmidt out of Milwaukee and Des Mulroney out of St. Charles. He's not really Chicago, but
Right. Yeah.
And like, when I see them there, I'm like, oh, they have the same sickness.
I honestly, I know you've been telling me to go back to music open mics, because like I told you, those are my first three. I did Mackey's Hideout and then Black Lung twice. And after the first time at Black Lung, Kent was like, hey, come back. I'm like,
Kent's real cool.
I'm like, all right, sweet. So that was my second open mic. So I wrote an entire 10-minute set, brand new, and just ate shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told coworkers to come. Dude, it was so bad. I remember asking my buddy Martin from when I worked at the Tollway. I'm like, hey, I'm like, come to this set. And he's sitting like front row with my other buddy Ricky from work, and I'm just like, I'm looking at them while they could just tell I was panicking. And then I got up. Did my mic just cut out?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's my headphones. My headphones just cut out. Anyway, I guess I don't have headphones anymore.
That's fine.
Whatever.
You sound good.
Okay, good. So I ended up talking to Martin after the show. I'm like, bro, that was terrible, wasn't it? He's like, no, you did good. I'm like, don't fucking lie to me, bro. Don't lie to me. It was just not fucking good, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, I have friends that would have been like that too. Which is why I didn't tell anyone about doing comedy at all till like probably 3 years in, other than Chris Nugent, which we talked about last time. Because he's not someone that, would just blow smoke up my ass to make me feel good. He understands that we both take art seriously and want to get good at our respective crafts. And I got a good group of friends that are all really good artists, and we give each other honest feedback and stuff, a lot of friends in bands, and I was in bands growing up and stuff too. Like, I actually thought about it the other day when I was like printing out flyers and passing flyers. I was like, I've actually been putting on events for over 20 years.
Wow.
Because I started putting on like punk rock shows and stuff. I only did a couple punk rock shows or like mixed band indie shows. And then I did like DJ, like when they started really busting raves and stuff and basically cracking down on raves, older people went to 21 and up bars and put on like DJ shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I did that for like many years, put on DJ shows around, like making money where like I'm spending like, hundreds of dollars on glossy, nice flyers that the rave promoters were using back when, raves were still a thing.
Well, this will happen.
Yeah, exactly. But it gave me experience and knowledge of putting on shows, which is why sometimes I feel like I take producing shows and putting on events a little too seriously, maybe to the detriment of my comedy. Sometimes, like I will never set up a show that's set up to like shine me, like it would be the show is to be a great show and make people keep coming back. Because ultimately what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find one room worth growing and building into something that can be lasting a long time. Something like Windsor, but bigger, a little bit bigger room, because Windsor, I tell people all the time, and some people, they take what I'm saying, or, seriously, or they disregard it because they see a small crowd or something. Like they go to Windsor and they see only 15 people. I'm like, yeah, but those 15 people, they come to the show every month.
Yep.
They're here for comedy.
Right.
And you can crush for them. They want you to crush.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I'm like, Windsor is a little kill box if you make it that. And you saw Ryan Mason there, so I'm sure you probably know exactly what I'm talking about.
He did great.
Like the people that utilize what that space can be can transcend what it looks like, for lack of a better phrase, because I've seen magic happen in that little room.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember I saw when I had with the Odd Thruple out, Kevin Kellum, James Fisher Jr., and Tina Ukana. That night got so insane and so wild that like they gave James a pair of shoes that were on the wall.
I remember them.
Kevin was telling us about that when we had him on the other week. So speaking of Odd Thruple, I'm thinking about booking them for the Sunnyside Up show in October.
Okay.
I have to message Amy and ask her for a date still. Amy, the owner, not Amy Simon, but I have to text her and ask her. She just said October, so I got to figure out when the next one's going to be. I'm either thinking about doing that or just selecting. I'm not sure. How do you think that they would do up here?
Oh,
they'll kill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did get up out in Rockford, or Loves Park, whatever it is. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm also trying to figure out if I even want to host it. If I want to just book the host and just solely produce.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I go through all those grappling with those decisions as well. Like, for a long time.
When was the last time you actually did Windsor Pizza? Because usually you just produce that, right?
I actually, for a few months now, I've only been hosting. I'm hosting every time.
Oh, okay.
Because it used to be, I wasn't confident in my ability to do any crowd work at all. I'm still not super confident.
Me neither.
I'm pretty material dependent. But I'm doing it enough now where even if it's going poorly, it doesn't take the wind out of my sails. I can still sit in the pocket, remain confident, and at least make them feel like I'm in control, you know? But basically I didn't host for the longest time because I didn't want to spoil, because it was a lot of the same people coming out every month, I didn't want to spoil my material, because even if a headliner canceled, I could do 30, 35 minutes competently. It wouldn't be Ryan Mason or Avi Sanchez, 35 minutes, but I can close out a show where people would be happy and they want to come out again.
Yeah.
Especially, with my closers, the way it is, that'd be the last thing they remember. There might be a little 5-minute, tepid laughs, pitter patter here and there in the middle. But I basically saved myself. That sounded weird. I saved my act for if anyone ever dropped out on me and I had to fill in.
Right.
I could fill in as feature or headliner or whatever if it was needed in that room, because that room in Loves Park is almost exactly like McHenry. They're surrounded by corn there. Compared to Chicago, not decent city, but I love Rockford. They got a city with a culture and things happening not far from them. Loves Park is exactly like McHenry. I'm comfortable performing for those kinds of people in any room, anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, and also I've almost never had, I've had one headliner drop out on me And it was a big headliner one.
Who was it? I'm just kidding.
No, it was a big headliner one. Like I even upped the money because I wanted to get them so bad. But so now I'm like, no, fuck it. I'll just host, and it'll be a material generator. I know I can start and end strong in a host position. I know I'm competent enough at what a host is needed for a show to make the show a success and to make the comics be a success. So I'm hosting most all the shows now, unless I have a prior engagement, and then I'm gonna ask like you or Al or Emilio to, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I just had something slip my mind. God damn it. It was.
I'm still thinking about what he's going to talk about, that horror.
Oh yeah. So one thing
I've been thinking about that for like 5 minutes.
I apologize. So one thing that bothered me when I listened, I'm very self-critical about, even though it's supposed to be just casual and natural conversation. In the beginning of that first podcast, it was my first ever podcast, I believe. And so like
Have you done one since or no?
I don't think so. No. So I was like, well, how am I going to do? I have to be on? Do I got to make jokes or whatever? I was a little weird in the first 20 minutes, and it bummed me out because that's when we were talking about horror films. And I'm like, and even you guys, especially you, were talking about, because you make content and make not films, but are interested in making films. And you're talking about the Nightmare on Elm Streets and stuff, the visual effects on them, why they're so great. And that kind of rekindled the popular or horror films being pop, kind of. I think the 80s with Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason, really kind of rekindled all of that. And I didn't use that opportunity to say that's because it's fucking John Carpenter. He started as a VFX guy.
Like you've got the thing, but
in the 70s,
all the same guy.
Like, and I felt like I looked like I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I never watched a horror film because I didn't pick up on that, And it's just because I was still a little nervous in the conversation, But yeah, I grew up on horror films, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing shows at The Final Girl. And even though, like, if I look at all the shows combined, I'm in a deficit. I've lost money,
Yeah.
I've made a little bit of money on one, broke even on one, and lost a lot on another.
Yeah.
So, and it's because if you want good headliners that are going to come out and also understand that regardless of what the turnout is, that are professionals. Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the turnout is, they're going to do the job that you hired because you're trying to put on a show. You got to pay them a solid guarantee for them to drive from wherever the fuck they're coming from.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was a really cool thing with being with the Sunnyside show, being able to get the venue. Because I remember you and I were talking about putting on the show, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm going to find some comics that can do it for free," and you were like, "No, don't do that. You got to pay."
I say it to people, and I think they sound like I'm not trying to give. I'm trying to gatekeep or not give opportunities to newer comics. But no, that's what the guest spot is for.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
The guest spot is for you to come in and show that you're prepared to be paid money and be in front of a real crowd of strangers and not your friends that you go and hang out with every week.
Yep.
And to get a clip to get more of those shows.
Yeah.
That's what a guest spot is, like if you want the crowd, because your friends are not going to, I've been putting on shows for 20 years. Your friends are not going to come out to every show if you're doing it every week or even every month.
Yeah.
And so at some point, the show that you got to be putting on, the product you got to be presenting to strangers and to venue owners that are paying you money, or they should be, has to be a product worth being paid money.
Yeah. Yep.
And the fact of the matter is you could get by one, maybe two shows with your friends that are going to do it for free or cheap, like me, and a lot of it is because you guys are doing it right around where either I live or my folks live, and I love you guys, and I'd be happy to close out one of your first shows. But I try to make it clear to you guys that if you want your show to be a success and can keep happening over and over again, if you just keep putting your friends on the people are going to stop coming. Right. Because especially are your friends getting booked a lot at other shows? If someone's not getting booked a lot at other shows, there's a reason for it. No one's gatekeeping anyone. I mean, there are some people that have, vendettas or shit here and there, but most people are not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves,
Yep.
And so if you're someone who's not getting booked a lot at other people when you send out clips or when you go to open mics and stuff, maybe you shouldn't be putting yourself on every show, which is why I didn't do that in the beginning.
Right.
And I didn't do that when I compared myself in those years to other people I see doing what I'm describing now. I was still stronger and better in those years.
Right.
And I still lacked, it was not even confidence. It's maybe the self-awareness to know I want my show to be good. I'm not trying to set up for me to kill because I want the show to be lasting and consistent.
Yep. That's what's been kind of put me on like in a little predicament with this next one. I'm like, because I really like, the first one, obviously I was going to host that one because hometown, and obviously you were going to headline it because you're hometown. And I'm like thinking for the next one, I'm like, all right, it's a pretty small town. It's probably going to be a lot of same people that showed up to the last one are going to come to this one. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have that much new material to get. I could probably do a new 5 minutes, but I'm like, how about I get somebody that's brand new that they haven't seen? They come host it. I just produce and let the show be great. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at right now. That's what I'm leaning on doing because I just want them to just, even though it's, the first one was in June and then this next one's October, even if it's a twice a year show, I want it to be great twice a year. So maybe she'll be like, hey, can you do it 3 times a year or 4 times a year? You know what I mean?
And then if anything, and if it's the least of it, you're networking with other comedians. And so when you send a blind submission or something, they're going to be like, oh, that person booked me. They run a good show. They didn't perform. Let's see. They'll actually look at your clip. Because I think a lot of what's going on that people don't realize is most people aren't even looking at your clips. That's what, because my current clip is a pretty newer one. It's pretty solid, but it looks silly because it's in like an RV center event center,
Billy show.
And there's just like a bed sheet behind me and shit.
Yeah.
But I come
like
from
an unfinished basement.
I come from like DIY punk rock stuff, and so I think that's charming and cool and all. Like I made a short film, but I put the full setup with like an old band opening up with an old band from my friend, like when we were in high school, and put words about how like where this is, what's going on, how everyone's been hanging out there partying, drinking since noon, and the show started at 7 p.m. And I'm like, here's how it goes. The clip that I got from that, and again, it's well produced, the editing and everything, it gets straight to the point. I cut out the little banter, local stuff in the middle, and just. It's a pretty solid 6.5 minutes through and through. And I don't think I've gotten a single gig from that submission, from a blind submission with that clip.
See, what's weird, man, is I got the most bookings from that 3.5 minute open mic set that I was sending out. And it's just like I said, I was already taking a break from comedy anyway. So I was like, I'm going to stop sending it out because I just don't want to keep booking myself when I'm just, I needed a break, starting back up work, whatever. And now it's like, now I want to get back into it, but I really want to send out a really good clip. So like, I think I'm just going to, unless I get booked between here and September 18th, my next show is September 18th. Cause I had a show almost every weekend for 2 months, every Saturday. And I was like, this is weird off of a 3.5 minute clip that somebody said was okay-ish. But anyway, you know what I'm saying?
An open mic clip? Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, at some point, I want a really good clip that I'm proud of, that like, if I would have fucking pulled my guy, because I was trying new shit at that Denise Medina show in the basement or in the lower room. If I would have fucking had my phone recording, man, that would have been such a good goddamn clip to send. And I loved that I crushed, but it's like, God
I know.
damn it.
I had a few of those.
Why is it always the ones that you
it's
don't
almost
record?
like bad beats at a poker table. It's like
Seriously.
the only thing you can remember. There's so many like just magical sets that you have that you're like, I got the fuzzy audio of it. Like,
right.
I had one time where I was at the Vixen. And I mean, you guys know my act. A lot of it is like about degeneracy and crimes and stuff that I saw and witnessed, or maybe partook in when I was a kid and in high school. Allegedly. Right around here,
Yeah.
And so especially
easy to do that,
especially in McHenry. So I'm at McHenry and I'm at the Vixen, And like one of the first comics come in, he's like, man, there's this fucking couple in the front and they're just being annoying and won't stop making out. They're heckling and shit. And I'm like, oh.
Making out too?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like,
woof.
what? I'm like, how am I going to deal?
A show within a show.
Yeah, I'm like, how am I going to deal with this? You know, like, I better go out into the audience and see exactly what's going on and figure out a game plan so that I don't bomb in like my hometown. And it's very possible. No one said anything to me, but it's very possible I could have friends or family in the audience and the Vixen.
That's
and
your mom and dad right there.
You know, so I go out in the audience, and then someone comes up, a comic comes up and starts bantering with them. And as soon as a girl talks back, and I hear a loud nasally voice, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. That's my friend Jenna. You know, and. And then the guy he's like says something. Well, it's just like, you know, there's a comedy show going on. You guys know there's a comedy show, huh? You guys just gonna sit there and make out the whole time? And then the dude that's with her turns and looks at him, and he's like, "Whoa, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had face and neck tattoos. You guys can just carry on, keep doing whatever you want to do." And I'm like, oh, that's my friend John. So then
they're still together.
Yeah. So then I'm go back to the green room, and Jenna's being disruptive because she's like that, you know. And it's bad enough to where like I'm not going to openly admit that I know these people, but then at one point Jenna goes, "Just bring out Joe," you know.
Oh, no.
Or I think she maybe even said Jopa, you know, which they wouldn't even know what the name is. But so, anyways, I'm like, well, now I can't deny it anymore. I'm like, yeah, I went to school with him. I probably haven't seen him in like 15 years or something, but they're just people I went to school with, friends I grew up with. They're just here to support me. They mean well, you know?
Yeah.
And, but I already was like, I know how to handle it. I've been fandling those two for fucking years, you know? And so the first thing I do, because it's been kind of a bummer of a show, you know, like people were just thought they were going to get like maybe a viral clip or something by interacting with them, but it just was kind of derailing the show. And so the first thing I did was I walked right up to the stage. You know, I kind of take my time. I take my hat off, put my phone and stuff down, and then I just walked right up to
it's like your signature. Put the hat on the mic stand.
It's just letting people know I'm in control of this stage now, you know. So I walk up to the front of the stage, and I look down, and I'm like, "Hi, Jenna. Thanks for coming." And I just walk away, you know. And even my friend John, when we talked after, he's like, I was worried about what was going to happen, if you were going to get mad, or, you know, like I was so worried. And he's like, as soon as the first words out of your mouth, you know, he's like, I knew everything was going to be fine, you know. And then I did, you know, like I was like, I know how to keep Jenna shut up. Is make her feel like she's involved, you know. That you know. So I would just mention stuff to her, like, because throughout my there's one line in my act where I say, I saw a girl give up a child for adoption before she got to high school. It wasn't Jenna, you know, and I get a big laugh about that, you know. And I just, at one point where I've been talking about being fat, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay, I'm fat too," you know. And I'm like, "You're not fat, you just thick, girl," you know. Another big, you know. So I just knew what to do because I grew up with them. I knew how to handle it. But yeah, like I forgot how we got started on the subject of Vixen. We were talking about local shows, maybe disruption. I don't know, but it's another good story that you know, like it was fun in the moment. Oh, that's magic in a bottle. I wasn't recording. Oh, so this is the point. It's all over. And I mean, that's to me is like a killing beyond a level of killing. You know, like I've done all the drugs. You know, and I didn't go to sleep probably till 4 a.m. then. You know, and I'm getting off stage and I walk away, and that's the other thing. I'm like, man, no one told me they were here. I don't think any of my friends, no one who knows that how real that is, you know. I'm sure some of the audience guessed, and it added hyper realism to my jokes because they're like, oh, this dude isn't fucking lying if he's literally first name basis friends with these people that are disruptive degenerates with face tattoos, you know, and but I was like, man, no one saw that. It was fucking lightning in a bottle. Nothing like that's going to happen. All I have is fuzzy audio of it from the Vixen stage because you barely hear the audience at all in the when you put your phone on the stool at the Vixen stage. And I'm at the end of because especially when like you're the only one that has a good set, Stephanie will be like, please go stand out there with the tip jar, you know, like to try and get the most tips possible. So I'm standing at the edge where everyone comes out through the Vixen, and I see my friend Ryan. And his face is he's like just smiling ear to ear, dude. His face is all red. And I'm like, someone saw it, dude. Someone knows when I tell this story, they know it's real. They saw that fucking magic, because something like that will never happen again.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I know you were talking about music mics. I just had a question. Do you ever practice crowd work at those? I feel like that'd be a good spot to practice crowd work, right?
Oh, absolutely. But you got to get them first.
Yeah. You can't
because they're used to just talking amongst themselves, you know, not paying attention really at all.
And you were mentioning Wednesday is in Kenosha?
That's one of my favorites. The Kenosha Yacht Club on Wednesdays. Black Lung on Thursdays with Kent and Timsey Town is great too. You know, and these guys, the Spirit Shakers that do the Wednesday ones, they got Monday in Kenosha at 58 Below. They got a Tuesday one in Racine at Encores, you know, and like what's her name, Mandy Kay, the like local country rock superstar girl. She's got one like in Genoa City on Wakanda on Wednesdays, Genoa City once a month on Monday, you know, like, so there's a little like, just like there is with comedy open mics and the comedy like circuit, for like an open mic circuit, the musicians have the same one too, and you'll start seeing the same people go, just like we do with mics. We have like a routine. We go to this mics this week, this mics this week, you know. They do the same thing with music open mics.
Yeah.
And you'll start to like know them, you know, and then you'll start to be like, oh, I'm not terrible at this, because even though I'm not a musician, they talk to me like I'm one of their own. They welcome me here. They give me extra time, you know, like. At the one in Kenosha on Wednesdays, they give me a light, but it's very loose. They basically tell me when I did 15 minutes so that I know to have a good dismount, but they let me go as long as I would want.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've been thinking about just mainly because of the drive.
Correct.
You know, that's the biggest reason. I mean, you know, I might as well.
So hitting up the music mics.
I promise you, your act will get so strong. Just keep doing the act and treat it like a gig.
And they usually give you what, 10, 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll get 15 unless you are losing them or being vulgar and they don't want you there.
Okay.
You know, but like there's places where I don't edit some of these mics.
Because like I was saying, I want to kind of restructure my 10 minutes. So I feel like that'd be a really good spot
that's
to just
the place to do it.
Just swap some jokes around, and there's also some jokes that I think now I can get rid of them. I have that one joke about VR porn. It's not a bad. I want to get rid of it. I don't think it's a great joke by any means. It's more of a time filler, and it's more of a shock value.
You'll have those jokes that you're almost like embarrassed to tell, but you're like, it fills time. It fits this chunk.
You'll find a better punchline later on.
That's also something that can happen too. You'll find a better punchline, or it'll turn into an actual whole bit with several punchlines in it or something, you know.
I mean, it's a good 2 minute or a minute and a half.
But there's nothing wrong with having standards for your act, you know. And once you get to the point where you're like, I don't need that. But then
the second you do 30 minutes,
exactly, coming back. Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. And then all of a sudden, someone will offer you 30 minutes to close out a show in your hometown, and you'll be like, all right, I guess a couple of these are coming back into out of the. I don't know shit about sports.
You got to get all the demographics.
Dugout. I guess some are coming out of the dugout, out of the batting cage.
That one, you know, coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I knew there was a
yeah. No, so that's just, you know, that joke specifically is like, I don't like telling it. It is more of a time filler. It's not embarrassing to tell it, but it's just like I'm better than this. But it gets really good laughs, and it's like, why does this fucking joke get such good laughs? And it's funny, but it's like that was like. First 6 months of that was my first one of my big jokes that I told in my first 6 months, and it's just like, all right, I'm kind of past that. I want to move on from that.
Yeah. What it'll be is, I think, at least maybe I feel this is the way it is for me. You'll get to a point where you have enough strong, really tried and true jokes in all kinds of settings and rooms. Enough times where a comedian has come up to me. Like one of the first times it happened was Kevin Kellum said something to Emilio about my trans fat joke.
Yeah.
He just turned and looked at Emilio and he's like, that's a damn good joke.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. It was 2021 maybe or something. So anyways, you'll have enough of those jokes that you'll be like, people will understand that I'm just doing the work here with this one. I'm entertaining a crowd, keeping them engaged and doing the work. But you'll have these other jokes will be the ones that stand out. Yeah. Like the number of times people have come up to me and tried and butchered my fucking Cosby joke. I've lost count how many times people have come up and said, "That's fucking amazing," and then they try and tell their, "Oh, did you hear it? He said that."
Jack, you want to whip out the wheel? We have a new segment that we've been doing where we just spin this wheel.
Okay.
And then we just you just erased half of whatever that was.
You're right.
And then we just kind of talk about whatever pops up on the wheel. So go ahead and spin that shit. Yo, DJ, spin that shit. Remember how I told you? Yeah, there you go. Bing, bong, bong. Watch out. Crackheads.
I got one right here.
I remember one of my favorite rabbit holes that I stumbled into was watching crackheads go into open mics.
Oh, boy.
I've seen a few of those clips. There's actually like a...
Was it Mike Cos? Shout out Mike Cos. We love you. You're not a crackhead.
It's just, no, because the thing is...
He's actually admitted to that. He did.
I mean, I can shout out Mike Cos for doing crack.
Oh, I could see it. But they come in thinking they're comedians and doing the work, and they're having like a cocaine mania or meth mania, like on stage and just rambling and talking crazy shit. But I have gone in the rabbit hole where I'll lose an hour watching videos like that.
I agree. I love that type of shit. Just mayhem on stage. Yeah.
You haven't, besides mayhem on stage, do you have any crackhead encounters?
I mean, everyone I see, they always counter a crackhead. I'm the crackhead.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, oh, you're just gonna use everybody else's story. All right. Yeah, okay. All right. What do we got? Public bathroom story.
That's the one.
Public bathroom horror story.
Mine's on the fucking Metro, dude.
Yeah.
So
the door slide open on you?
No, it was just having to take a shit in the fucking Metro, dude.
Yeah, fuck that.
On the train, a train bathroom where other, vagrants and street urchin have used, and like, so
I like that street urchin.
I used to be in like a hip hop DJ crew, and we practice every Sunday, and I would just to not deal with traffic and stuff in Holland, I would just take a crate of records every Sunday on the train to the Western Avenue station in Chicago and back every Sunday. One time, thank God it was coming home. Whatever we had at the Rabbit Vinyl Monks practice for lunch, we were always gluttonous dudes. Hit me wrong on the way home and I tried everything in my power, and I made it to Ingleside.
Why are you standing?
Do you know how fucking close?
That's close.
I made it, and then I had to do my best to fucking, because it's just, I'm too big also for a fucking train. So there was no, I hate this. This is just real, there was no proper way to wipe or clean myself.
I was going to say, if they had a bidet, would you even use it?
I would have had to fucking use something, And so...
A public bidet.
The cleaning up process, I was worried I was going to get stuck on the train and go back to fucking Chicago. And basically just had to say, well, this is the best I can do. I have to get off now.
Single ply, just single ply toilet paper.
Thank God, I think at that time I was at my folks. And so it was, a less than 5-minute drive from the Fox Lake Metro station. And I was out of there and home and clean. But yeah, that's probably, and prior to that, and just as a result of who I am as a person, I do not like public bathrooms for number two at all.
Me neither.
My grandmother ruined me as a kid. Because my grandmother is a clean freak and really weird about germs and everything. She's the type of person had to practically follow us with a vacuum because she didn't want steps under carpet type shit, And so anytime I had to use a bathroom in public, she would say shit like, I'm 4 years old, you know?
Yeah.
If you use this toilet, spiders are going to come up out of the toilet and they're going to crawl in your butt and stuff. And she would say shit like that to me, to the point where I cannot go number 2 in a public bathroom boy. So the fact that happened, it was a dire situation, you know, because I mean, I think my body, some of the glands in my body, like produce Imodium or something as a fucking hormone, you know, because I can hold it for a while if I got to, because I need to get home.
I have a recent horror story of, I mean, it's not quite a horror story. It could have been a horror story. So I was at work. I was on Route 14 eastbound in Crystal Lake, I guess. It was 14 Sands Road. There's a Casey's, brand new Casey's right there. And we were about to saw cut a concrete blowout, and the saw wasn't coming off the fucking. We couldn't get the saw started, so we couldn't get it off the trailer.
It's supposed to be about pooping, not working.
I'm leading up to it.
All right.
And it was like 90 degrees outside. It's hot, and I got cold. I got the chills. From the shit. I was like,
I understand.
Patrick Swayze was rubbing your back.
It was like about 1 o'clock. I'm like, all right, can I make it to about 2 o'clock to get back to the yard and poop there? I'm like, I don't know if I can make this, dude. And I look at my lead worker and I'm like sweating and fucking ice cold. And I'm like, hey man, I gotta go. He's like, walk across the road. And I'm like, I'm still very timid about getting hit by cars, you know?
Yeah.
So like,
understandable.
I'm like, I'm not walking across there. He's like, take the truck. So I drive the truck over there, fucking get over there, run into the bathroom. And of course, someone's taking a shit. I'm like, come on. So I sat out there, and thankfully, when I was going to sit there and wait, and then I heard him like wiping, and I'm like, I don't want to be a creep standing outside waiting for him. So I walked out, stood in the hallway, waited for him. Hear the toilet flush. It's like 3 minutes. This dude is washing his hands. I'm like, dude, come on. I walk into
he was jerking off.
He was washing his hands. I heard the sink on, but anyway,
that's what I do when I jerk off, or I leave the sink running.
Fair enough. He walks out. I walk into the fucking bathroom. I'm about to drop my pants. No toilet paper. I'm like, dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I fucking run to the fucking front counter.
And he was washing his asshole in the sink. That's what he was doing.
I walk up to the cashier. I'm like, you guys gotta refill that toilet paper now. They're like, okay, 1 second. I'm standing there waiting. And of course, it's a woman that's gotta fill it. So she's like, is there anybody in there? And a guy just walked in there to take a piss. So she had to wait for him to come out.
Fuck.
Then she goes in there, fucking puts the toilet paper in there. She's like, there you go. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I walk in there. The first thing I see in the fucking, there's a little mini garbage can in there. The garbage can was open and there was just shit toilet paper in the garbage can. And then I just blew the toilet up. That was like, the horror story was me just waiting. But yeah, that was my most recent.
Yeah, but that's story. Also that dude's 3-minute hand wash shit.
Yes,
you know?
he ran out of toilet paper and he was doing something.
I've had to wash my butthole in a public sink before.
There was probably no toilet paper in there, and he didn't check before, and so he used toilet paper out of the fucking garbage.
Oh, that's probably exactly what he did. And instead of throwing it in the toilet, he just threw it back. He threw it back in the fucking
trash can. Indian style. I just get my left hand wet. Put some soap in there and just start washing my butt with only my left hand.
I can, and
that's why a shake was my right. All right.
I feel like you just do that when there is toilet paper.
I do.
Do you have
hemorrhoids?
Yeah, well, that's not how you get hemorrhoids, but yeah. Do you got a story?
You guys ever heard of Grid Life?
No.
It's like a festival for racing and drifting, and they have music too. And Waka Flocka was gonna be there like a Saturday night. And this is a Sunday after. All the porta potties have no toilet paper at all in them, and everyone's shitting their brains out. And I found the one porta potty that had fucking wipes in it, and I felt like an African warlord. Just like, if you want one, gotta give me something. But no, actual horror story is when I was working at Yaki's, the bartending slot machine place. I had some guy walk in, just like, hey, can I use the bathroom? And I was like, all right, I mean, sure. I mean, usually we only let it for customers, but like, he looks like he's gonna gamble. Immediately uses the bathroom for like 10 minutes later, just storms out. And then my boss walks in 5 minutes later, so I never had a chance to check. So I leave my shift about like an hour later. He's a Japanese man, so bear with me, but I get a phone call.
Oh boy.
Jock, there's poo-poo everywhere. Literally, it sounds like an angry samurai guy. He's showing me pictures and shit.
Angry samurai guy.
Literally, this guy smeared shit all over the walls, behind the toilet.
Oh my God.
Everywhere.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. I guess he was mad, but I've never seen the guy before in my life. So it's like, I don't know.
Jesus. I actually had, is that all of it?
Yeah, that was my second to last day working there. I'll just say that.
When I was doing work conditioning at Athletico in McHenry, I went to go take a piss, and I walked into the no, I think I had to take a shit. I walked into the stall, and there was shit on the toilet seat, shit all over the fucking floors, and I'm like, well, it looks like I'm not shitting right now, so I just took a piss and walked out, and I told one of the assistants, I was like, I don't know how to say this, but
Wasn't me.
I'm like, I don't know how to say this, but there's shit all over the floor and all over the toilet in there. And he's like, what? I'm like, I'm dead serious, dude. And he walked in there and he had to go clean it up. But apparently it was I felt really bad. It was I guess this guy that brings his wife there, he was like on dialysis or something. I guess he had an accident. But I'm like, tell someone, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I'm the type of person where I would try and clean it up a little bit because I would feel about the fucking person that has to work there and clean it up. That they're just probably not getting paid very well. You know, they're
when I was a janitor, people
working
would do
check
that
to check. You know,
come I mean,
if you ever see like if we go out to dinner or eat or sometime, you'll see like when I'm done eating, like
stacker.
I just start cleaning, kind of clean up my area because even if I'm going to sit there for a little bit, I like my general area looking nice and organized.
Yep, same here.
You know, and yes, I also think about people in those jobs.
Yeah, it was pretty funny though. After like all day, he'd say something to me, I'm like, oh no shit, or I'd be like, there's something like. And then I'd go walk past him to go to the bathroom and be like, hey, I'm gonna go take a shit on the floor, so I'll be right back. And it was just a running on joke for the rest of the time I was at physical therapy.
Or he actually blames you for it, and he's just like this motherfucker.
Yeah, I would be the one that would waste an entire roll of toilet paper cleaning up to make sure nobody knew that I shit all over the floor. But let's do like 2 more spins.
Ooh, we really want to stop there.
Weird neighbors.
Oh yeah, man, did I have some weird neighbors. I actually have I'll do some stuff about them in my act. Occasionally, depending on how much time I have, it's like that when I'm telling you, if I got to do 30 or something, I can get 5 doing some jokes talking about my neighbors that then I segue into talking about like social media and stuff. But the crux of it, or the body of the joke.
I like that, the crux. That's a rock climbing term, guys. That's the most difficult part, if you didn't know what the crux was.
Is that they were like kind of like keeping up with the joke, like everything nice and proper and stuff, but at the same time their oldest son like almost borderline almost possessed by demons type shit. Like say the most terrible shit I've ever heard. I heard him call his mom a cunt one time.
I've said that before.
And but I mean, this dude was like 9 when he said it.
Oh,
yeah. So what I'm saying is, where did he hear the word cunt at 9 years old? But anyways, that's not my point to judge anyone. What I will judge is the shit I actually saw. Like, at one time, it got so bad, my mom was sitting out in the driveway, and she's like, it took all my power not to say something to that woman for what she was letting that boy do. And I was like, well, thank you for not saying something, because those are my neighbors, and I have to live next to them.
Yeah,
you know?
seriously.
I was like, you don't have to live next to them, I do, you know?
Yeah.
And, but, like, so the joke I would say all the time is I would say, I remember this one time I watched this because he would whip toys violently at his younger siblings and make them cry and stuff just to watch them cry. And so I say, I remember one time I would watch him like pound his fist into the cement patio in the back, screaming at imaginary demons in the sky. You know, so for years before I would be able to let my dog go out back, I would have to like comb my yard for poison hot dogs.
Fuck.
Because you know that dude's going to hurt some animals.
That was a thing around Lake County for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So, And like another thing that I would say about it, just weird people. The dude was cool, but I lived next to him for like 18 years and hardly knew him or talked to him. Whereas the old couple on the other side, we were on a first name basis. They could go close my garage for me. They could walk my dog for me if I was getting home late for work or something. I'd give them the code to my garage. But yet the one on the other side, we didn't even hardly talk to at all. And I remember the mom, her minivan was always running in the garage. Oh. It didn't matter what time of day it was. 3 in the afternoon. I remember I came home from Colorado one time. It's like 2:30, 3 in the morning. The garage light is on. The garage is open, and the minivan's running in the garage.
The door closed?
Yeah. The door's open. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The light's on. The door's open. It's like 2:30, 3 in the morning. And I originally thought she was like smoking cigarettes in the van or something. I get that, putting on some tunes, smoking cigarettes. But then I remember on several occasions, the van would be running in the garage and she'd be out back on the patio smoking cigarettes.
What the fuck?
And so the joke that I wrote to like fill time is I was like, I get it. I've met her family. She needs a getaway car. You know?
Seriously. Keep it running.
But yeah, they were just weird. It's just strange. Like I said, I lived next to them for 18 years. I watched their kids grow up. I watched that kid. Eventually, they shipped him away to military school. And I got jokes about that too,
Godspeed.
But yeah, that's what I say. Like, what else are we going to do with those kids? I don't want them around. Ship them off to some foreign country, have them fight some wars,
Doing God's work.
But yeah,
or whatever the demon speaking in his ears,
I would say those are probably the weirdest neighbors. Otherwise, I've always had pretty good neighbors, even at my parents' house. Good neighbors coming over for holidays and parties and cookouts and stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I love about these areas.
You ever had to kick anyone out of your parties?
I mean, usually, like when we were throwing big kegger parties in my like early 20s and stuff, I've had to throw young people out.
See, the young people that join our party, I'm not going to say how young, but they're usually the nicest and most respectful. And they're like, as long as you know how to get the fuck home, hang out. But we had one guy who was like, probably the oldest guy there, like 36, just way too many mushrooms, screaming in the middle of the street. And my roommate's trying to calm him down, all that kind of shit. And everyone's making jokes. And my buddy's like, don't you live here? I'm like, yeah. He's like, aren't you going to do anything? I'm like, if the cops come, I want to be the best witness ever. I didn't see shit.
Yeah, exactly. I had the house that we lived before we lived in McHenry. Really good neighbor, but very weird. We called him Mr. Wilson because you could only see that he would just, because like my dog is a freak, and he would all the time he would like antagonize my dog. Like he was trying to be nice, but like he was retired and he was always drunk. So he would always just try.
I have the same. My dad has the same exact neighbor right now.
Dude,
was he a Skull Vodka type guy?
No. Is his name Steve?
No, his name was Ron, and he was Miller High Life. No, yeah, High Life. He just drank High Life all the time, and cool guy. Like I said, like he was a really cool guy, but man, he was just always drunk, always trying to fuck with my dog. And one time, I remember I was mowing the lawn. And I saw some baby bunnies in the backyard, and I was like, hey, Ron, come over here. I got these baby bunnies. Like, what do I do? And he's just like, him and Kevin, the guy that lives across the street, also always over at his house hammered. They came over, and they're like, yeah, just don't touch him. Just leave him there, blah, blah, blah. And we're hanging out back, smoking a cigarette, and he's like, where's Arlo? I'm like, Arlo's inside where he belongs. He doesn't like you guys. Like, he doesn't like strangers. And he's like, where's Arlo? I'm like, I just told you. He's inside. He needs to be inside. Do not let him out. Don't do anything crazy. And he goes up to my fucking back door without even asking me. He's like, Arlo, and opens the fucking door. And then Kevin, the guy from across the street, who has met him once through a fence, was like, I'm like, I've told them multiple times, don't ever drop to his level. Don't try to pet him. Don't look at him. Don't do anything. He's like, Arlo, drops down to him, and Arlo bites his fucking ass, dude. And yeah, that was, I mean.
Well, I thought you were saying Arlo just ran straight out and ate those baby
rabbits. That's exactly where I was getting to. The bunnies are just
he's killed some baby rabbits in the backyard before, but he wasn't biting them. He just like nosed them.
Yeah, I always rescue dogs, and I had my first dog as an adult myself. Georgia was a rescue, and she lived on the streets and stuff. So she just ate. She had food issues, like she would just eat and eat and eat. So you had to keep an eye on shit, and you put her out, she would just eat baby rabbits. But when right now, my dad, the same guy, good heart, helps my dad out around the house. Just a good dude. Kind of a good dude that I would say, but a lot of the people in the neighborhood don't like him because he's loud. He drinks a lot. Him and his old lady do drugs and stuff. He's in and out of the program. But I mean, I grew up around kind of people like that, imperfect people,
Yeah.
And all that matters to me is his heart. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But he's overconfident with dogs. He thinks he's like a fucking Dr. Doolittle or something. And he thinks he's going to get... So another dog that I rescued that ended having up severe fear aggression,
That's exactly what Arlo has.
Yeah. And he can only be around family. Whenever we have people over, we put a muzzle on him. We take... Because he's got a strike against him. Because he's fine. He was fine with kids always, and then our hairdresser came over and cut all of our hairs, and she had not a little boy, and that's what I should have realized. He was like 13 or 14, but he was getting tall and stuff, And so Ernie just probably assumed he was like a dude and bit him on the ass. I mean, didn't even really break skin. It wasn't bleeding or anything, but it looked red. Like he did break skin, but it wasn't bleeding. If that makes sense.
I feel like the dog.
So he's got a mark against him, so we can't risk it. But this dude is always trying to go in the yard when he sees him there, trying to get down and pet him. Got really drunk one time and tried to play with him with a tree branch and stuff. And I mean, Ernie came and got him and Ernie's a fucking pit bull. Ernie took him to the ground from the leg.
Yeah.
And thankfully he's cool and everyone's cool, and he understood that this is his fault. He knows he shouldn't be coming in the fenced-in yard. We have beware of dog signs and shit around. So. But yeah, it's just another one. Super good dude, but for some reason he's not right with dogs.
Yeah, that's exactly how Arlo is, man. He's got really bad fear aggression. He's only cool with the people he was a puppy around. I got him off of fucking Craigslist when he was because when we lived in our apartment, Cora really wanted a German Shepherd. I was like, all right, let's make it happen. But they obviously, when you get a dog in an apartment, they want to fucking, whoever's selling the dog, like an adoption agency, they want an okay from the landlord or whatever it is. We didn't get that, obviously. So we just in case I got a letter from my psychiatrist saying that he was a service dog. We ended up not having to tell anybody. But basically, I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, how are his parents? Are they good with people? And he said, yeah, they were really good with people. Really good with kids. He was a farm dog. I didn't put two and two together. That meant farm dog meant he's good with the people that are around him. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what Arlo is. Arlo is great around. He's great with our kids. He's great with my family. He's great with one or two friends that I have. But my one friend, Justin, he had to earn his trust. He had to come over 10 times and work at it, and it took him 10 times before he could even pet him. Now he's gained his trust, but he's bitten probably 4 people, but that's because they do not listen to me.
Yeah.
I've literally told them explicit instructions. What you need to do is when you walk in, we have a whole system that we do if we're going to introduce him to a new person. We have him lay out back. He's got a training collar because we spent $3,000 to get him boarded and trained because he bit somebody. And we're like, all right, we're not putting this dog. We don't want to have to put him down. We don't want to have to go through that. So we're going to do whatever we can to protect him and protect the people that come over. Excuse me. So he's got a bed up in the corner. Literally, all I have to do is say Arlo place. He'll go lay down. He won't get up until I say okay. He's a very well trained, very obedient dog. But we'll have him lay down in the backyard. It has to be daylight. He comes in whoever's meeting the dog comes in the back, and we say Arlo, okay. And then he gets up, he comes up and sniffs. I'm like, don't even keep your hands in your pockets. Don't look at him. Don't do anything that would suggest that you're gonna do anything threatening to him. Because even you reaching out to pet him, he's gonna snip at you. So anytime he's ever bitten anybody, it's just literally been because they do not listen to what I'm saying. They're after an hour of him, because he'll drop the ball in front of you, and I'm like, all right, you can throw the ball for him. But because he'll drop the ball and back up 15, 20 feet, and then you can throw the ball for him. And then he'll get close to you again and start sniffing you again. And then people that have gotten nipped.
Think they can pet him.
Think they can pet him. I'm like, what did I just fucking say? I literally said, do not do that. It's going to take you 15, 20 fucking times to gain his trust. Like he needs to trust you. He needs to know you're not a threat. So now, honestly, whenever I have the podcast, whenever I have new people over, he's either upstairs locked up in the room, or he goes to, like, if we're like, so for my son's birthday party, we just send him over to my in-laws' house. He just goes over there.
Yeah,
It's frustrating as fuck.
Yeah, because people think they're good with dogs because they've only been around easy dogs. They've never been around a challenging dog. One that is a good dog that had a bad past or whatever. Yeah, and that's what Ernie is.
Yeah, we've had him since he was 7 weeks old. That's just like in his DNA. There's nothing. We've done everything that we possibly could to fucking change this. And from the time he was pretty much just under a year old to, he's 8 now, 7, 8. He's 8 now. And there's nothing we can do. So we honestly don't really even try anymore because it's like.
But the training should be to the point where he doesn't do anything without your.
Correct. Correct. But like also, it's like, do we really want to have somebody over and have them sitting on the couch and he's just sitting in his place fucking whining or growling the whole time? It's just stressful for him. Mm-hmm. It's stressful for us. I'm like, we just don't even do it anymore because it's just too much for him. I know because I know it makes us fucking anxious. I can't even imagine what he's going through. So it's like, honestly, we just have our set group of people that he's allowed to be around. And then, we really don't have that many people. I only have people over on Sundays for about 2 hours at a time. Or, today for a Monday for 2 hours at a time. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is at this point. It's a very stressful. I will never buy a dog off Craigslist again. I love him to death. He's a great dog. He's so good with my kids. But yeah, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, so Ernie was a rescue, and when I got him, he was a little under 2 years old, but he had scars on his face and like on his back. If you looked like in the sun and you see like his skin in between the fur, you would see all these like claw scratches going down. Like, I don't know if he was a bait dog or a fight dog or something,
Pit bull either.
Yeah, but he was also on the street for weeks and weeks and found emaciated and stuff. And
damn.
So, when I found out that the fear aggression was to the point where he needed to constantly be on a leash and I didn't have a fenced in yard and I felt it was torture every time I would go out back with my dogs. Georgia could run around fine and then I have to walk around Ernie with a leash and he wants to play with Georgia and so I just basically had a chat with my parents, and when their dog passed away, was like, you guys have a fenced in yard, would you take him, permanently all the time? I will take care of everything, any financial stuff, anything that happens to him or whatever, I will take care of all of it. I will even buy the food for you guys, and you don't have to do anything. He just deserves to be, because he's the most loving dog ever. And it's the same thing, like, he is so protective of our family that whoever is the youngest in the family, that's who he sleeps with.
Yeah.
And I watched it go from my niece Jocelyn to my niece Mackenzie to my niece Luna. See,
that's really cool.
He's
protective.
Correct. Yeah. To the point where like when my nieces aren't around, he'll probably choose me usually if my nieces aren't around and I'm at my dad's house. But I'll talking with my dad when I'm not there and none of my nieces are there. He actually is going from bed to bed to bed to couch because he's just not in the right space.
Yeah.
Because for him, that's where he feels his purpose is protecting the family.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's good.
Yeah.
We want our house to be protected. No one's gonna come in our house. They see
Dude, that's the same. Arlo is a 120-pound German Shepherd. He's a fucking big dog.
Correct.
And I feel bad for the fucking guy who tries to break into this house. But, honestly, like when I'm, Cora feels so safe with him because of the fact, like when I plow snow, I plow at night and she's here with 2 kids by herself. So she's like, honestly, like, yeah, it is stressful to like have people over when he's here. But like at the same time, she feels so safe with him around.
You feel worry free when you're not home.
Weird though. Like, like those, pack dogs like that have that fear aggression. They are such big fucking pussies around the people that they love. Like, dude, this is a 120-pound pussy, dude. Like, when he's around me, like, he play bites and stuff with me, but like,
Yeah, I remember
he's like submits to me so much. He's like a little bitch, dude. I love
when
it.
they roll over and show you the belly.
Yeah,
that means they accept that they know you're in control of shit.
Exactly.
And it felt good when Ernie started doing that, you know. But I remember, I mean, one time, like this dog was dangerous. Okay, one time, and we had a long talk with her after the fact. But Mackenzie kicked him off the couch one time. I mean, she was little. She was probably like 6 or something, so she couldn't have done any really hurt damage. But this is a bad message and a bad thing to do to a dog, you know. But he did nothing to her, not a thing.
Yeah,
just what got down, you know, and. But yeah, so I think he's the sweetest, best dog ever. He's very great for our family, but it requires us to be proper, prepared owners.
Yep.
You know, to protect him.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah, that's exactly what we did. You know, we made sure that, you know, if we are going to have parts of our lives where there's new people involved, he's got to be trained, and like he is extremely well trained. Like if you guys wanted to meet him right now, I could put him down on that place right now. He would not move. But I'm obviously that's just so stressful for him. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just like at this point he's 8 years old. It's like I don't know. We'll see. Jack's been like begging to meet him.
Yeah, so you were saying like the overconfidence thing, like Dr. Doolittle. I feel like I have that.
You don't.
Yeah,
you don't.
I've been told.
I promise you.
No, and it's probably just you haven't met a challenging dog. Like I said,
I've had
like
a few, but I've always been able to be around them enough where I
mean, honestly,
so you understand it takes time.
Exactly, I know it takes time.
Honestly, with how much you come over, like
my sense here, somewhere in this house, he's right.
Yeah, you guys should be working on it.
You're here every week. We probably should do it, just because of the fact that, I mean, it's not like.
Then you don't gotta lock him up while he's here.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah,
it's good for him then.
Yeah,
I mean, he gets more time out.
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah, we should probably do that because he is.
We'll video it too, so in case anything happens, it's fun to post.
Yeah. Jack gets bit by my dog. Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, I mean he's a very.
I'll sign the waivers.
He's such a big pussy once you get to know him. Like Justin, you know Justin. He, like I said, it took him a long time to be able to get to know him, and then once he got to know him, he was a big pussy with him too. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's cool though. So I think we should probably wrap it up with that. Do you got any stuff coming up you want to plug?
Plugs?
Yeah, actually.
Let me pull out the Rolodex.
I actually didn't hustle too much during the summer because people got a lot of other options during the summer for comedy, you know. So
and which is really gonna suck for me, dude, this winter because last winter, like I wasn't working, so I was loaded up with comedy. This is going to be a very difficult winter for me because of the fact that I'm probably going to take the night shift because the night shift is way more overtime, way more money. I need the money right now, and
unless you can make it doing comedy, but not as regular.
I mean, if I were to make it during comedy, it's going to take me a lot longer.
Monday through Friday.
It's Sunday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'm on
anytime it snows.
I'm on for IDOT. So I plow the state roads. I work from 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. if it snows. So it's like I have to be ready to go at all times. I could say yes to a show pending snow and ice, but it's just like I don't know. It's iffy. Like I can still like last year I got or 2 winters ago I got caught out at an open mic where there was nothing forecasted, but they called us in, and I'm like I'm sick. I mean, you can say you're sick and not come in, but you can only do that 4 times a winter. Mm. So it's like. I don't know. So it's like it's just it sucks because that's when comedy really picks up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for shows, you know,
right, exactly.
So you can still work on. Well, no, you can't really work on.
I mean, I could go to music mics.
You might have would you have to cancel a show if it snowed?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You don't want to start like burning bridges or getting because. You know, producers do talk, and they say, "Oh, this guy's canceled on me this many times. This guy's canceled on me that." You know, like,
well, I would have
and you
to
get a reputation if you start doing that a lot.
Well, I would just, you know, if I accept a show during winter, I'll just have to tell them right away. Exactly, like, look, I work snow and ice. Like, if I get called in, I can't back out.
But also, I mean, I wouldn't do this to you because we're friends and stuff. But you also can't take it personally. Then, if someone says, "All right, well, I'll get you out in the summer." Okay, you got to accept that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, if they say that, okay, never mind, then we'll revisit it in the spring or whatever.
Because it's annoying when people drop out on you.
Yeah, 100%. I've had it.
Day of. Yeah.
I've had it. I've had 2 people drop out.
Every time you've had it. You never had one where someone did not drop out. The first one. Yeah.
I could count on one hand how many times it's happened.
Yeah.
And I produced a lot of shows over the years. You know,
Yeah.
so. Main thing I'd like to talk about, is Windsor. We used to do every month, but kind of to up the budget, they wanted to get like headliners in with more TV credits and stuff. And I was like, well, we need a bigger budget than for that, So in order to do that, we scale back. We mainly do it on like all major holidays and times when people would be home in town and things like that.
Yeah.
That's Windsor and Loves Park. Show's been running almost a decade.
Cool
People come up. The people that come, they come to everyone. They tell me about their favorite comics that they like that they saw, and that's a good crowd that comes out, And the staff and the management at the Windsor Pizza Parlor treat my comics very well. Take care of you guys while you're there.
Yes, they do.
So definitely like to promote Windsor, which the next one is the 30th at Windsor.
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, exactly. See what I'm saying? Because they do use that for like, hey, we just had a holiday weekend or whatever. Let's go to the comedy show. Let's stay in town and go to the comedy show on Saturday or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is
August 30th.
Yeah, that's Jeff Hall, just Jeff. Michael Cooper, Erica Schweitzer. That's going to be a good show. I'm excited for that one. Yeah.
Nice.
And then, of course, the Final Girl we're doing every month. We're trying to build it up, get it growing. I would say, usually we're getting around 20 to 30 people. I'd like to be getting 40 to 50 in there because then I could get the comics more money. But that's Final Girl, the horror theme bar out of Kenosha. And it's a really cool stage. We did have one comic come out there, and I don't know, she must have been like Christian or something, but she couldn't get it over her head, the like weird pagan symbols on the stage and the devil face behind her, and tanked her own set as a result of it. But that's the Final Girl in Kenosha. I love that spot. And then like just a testament to caring about shows, even if you're putting yourself on them and just trying to make your shows all the best. Like there's a spot that I stopped seeking out, trying to do shows there regularly, just because, to be frank, I'm not always getting the best help with the management and the people, the ownership of the venue and everything. But if you pay my comics well and pay me money, I'll put on a show for you. And he's someone, I haven't done a show with him in maybe almost 2 years. He reached out to me and asked me to do another show again for him. And that's Sandlots of Salem in Salem, Wisconsin.
Nice.
And that's a big spot, and it's cool. They have the bar separated into like an eating area and a bar area, so we can keep the kind.
Is that an outdoor show?
No, it's indoor.
No? Okay.
But
they have an outdoor stage,
they got
right?
big.
Okay.
No, I'm not sure if they have an outdoor stage. They have a big volleyball court out there.
Okay.
It's a big volleyball place.
Don't they have like a baseball field too?
I believe they do actually. Yes. But that's a cool spot, and that's on the 16th and
of this month.
Yeah. And
so this weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, I got Dobie Maxwell.
So guys listening, that's tomorrow, because this comes out on the 15th on Friday.
Yeah, so tomorrow we got Dobie Maxwell coming out, Louise Noe from Milwaukee, badass female comedian, and then Hector J from Waukegan is popping in for a guest spot, and then I'll be hosting. That's tomorrow, the 16th, at Sandlots of Salem in Salem, Wisconsin. And then, of course, like I said, Windsor Pizza Parlor, Loves Park. Pretty much every other month we got a show going there. Every month we got Final Girl Bar in Kenosha. Big shows for myself lined up. I know I'm hosting the Vixen again in September, the 24th. And then another really cool local show that I want to give a shout out to is Waukegan Comedy Jam in Waukegan. That's the 26th and the 27th of September. So yeah, that's all I can see really right now, close on the docket.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Jack, what do you got coming up? You got this Saturday, right?
This Friday, actually.
Friday the 15th.
Yes, the 15th. Yes.
At PM&L Theater.
Yep. We got what's his name?
Anthony Bonazzo. I know his show more than he does.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, Big L will be hosting. I'll be guest spot, and then we have Anthony.
And then Charles Burns is
the feature.
Yep. Me, myself, and I have my Lincoln Lodge debut on September 18th, the late night at the Lodge. I believe it's a 10 p.m. start. And then I have...
That'll be 8 p.m. So if you're listening to this right now, before 8 p.m., get to Antioch right now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then I have Final Girl with Joseph Christopher over here at on September 20th at 7 p.m. or
no, that's 9 p.m. That's a later
9 p.m.
show. Yeah,
9 p.m. So yeah, I got 2 shows coming up. Guys, thank you for listening. Come out and support these local shows. The support in the community means more than anything to us. And we're putting on good shows here. Especially this guy. He's been putting on shows for 20 years, so he knows what he's doing. So do us a favor and come out and support. You got anything else, Jackie?
No, not to promote.
Okay, I have no. Okay, cool. That's there you go. All right, sweet.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Dude, anytime, man. Yeah, I appreciate you coming. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week with a very special episode. It's not going to be normal. Jack is not going to be there for the first time in a while.
Oh yeah, I'll be.
I have a special lake house podcast. I'm bringing the camera and the equipment out to Michigan and filming an episode on the lake with my best friend, his fiance, and my wife. So it should be a really fun episode. So tune in next week for another episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
God, that was an hour and 49. Holy shit. TorgyTalk. 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 This episode was brought to you by Fat Candle Company. That's right. You've made it to the point where we're going to give you a discount code for your order at fatcandlecompany.com. So yeah, go ahead, go to fatcandlecompany.com. Use the promo code FATTORGY. That's FATTORGY at checkout, and you'll get yourself 10% off your order. Once again, that's FATTORGY, FATTORGY at the checkout to get yourself 10% off. fatcandlecompany.com.